Cheryl, this next gentleman and his wife could be very, very influential people on your career. He's a gentleman who started off as bass guitarist in a group called the Masters Apprentices, and now he's gone on to own everything in Australia that Kerry Packer doesn't.
Oh, my goodness.
He really is a very, very successful man. If you notice me grovelling, you're right. I will be grovelling, and you're more than welcome to join me in my grovelling.
Oh,
okay?
Good.
Please welcome with his lovely wife, Gaynor, Mr. Glenn Wheatley.
I grovel too.
Well, you've got to, haven't you, Gaynor? One of my proteges beside you, Cheryl Freeman, Mr. Wheatley,
Hi, how are you?
and Gaynor.
It's okay, she can call me Glenn. You can call me Mr. Wheatley.
Okay, fine, Mr. Wheatley. It really is a thrill to have you here, because as my next manager, I'm sure you'd like to know a bit about me. Glenn, it's a very exciting day for the Wheatley household, and indeed for all lovers of good entertainment and nightlife in Australia, because at last, after all the headlines,
At last.
all the problems, tonight the Ivy officially opens.
Yes, we've certainly had our fair share of problems, there's no doubt about it, but happy to say that that's all behind us. We've had a little bit more publicity than what we would have liked, but no, tonight is the night.
So all union problems behind you, and this is the go.
They're all there. They're all there tonight. They're all coming.
Yes, that's terrific.
No,
You did some grovelling, did you?
Oh, yes. No, we never really had a union problem. It was just one of those things we had a dispute with a builder, and it's not the first or the last time it will ever happen. And it should have been resolved at arbitration, not on the front pages of, dare I say it, the Toorak Times.
Yeah, OK, well, fair enough. Anyway, you should say that's behind you now.
Yep.
And you've had some previews this week and everything looks terrific. I mean, it's an interesting thing, Glenn. You've got so many irons in the fire. You're successful in so many areas, radio and Hoyts, and of course, the management, the personal management of John Farnham, the turning around of his career, etc., the Sydney Swans.
Thank you. Yes,
and thank you for winning last Sunday.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I know the Lions. You're hoping that they'll be in there as well. But
do you see that scarf over there on the bus?
No, hang on. Look.
I mean, that has become my absolute altar. And we have the opportunity. I mean, I want Fitzroy to get in there because I've loved them all of my life, and apart from that, I took the 12s early in the season to make the five.
I'm sorry, but I'm actually the same with the Sydney Swans. I mean, I've been a supporter for many years, and I just got to hope that we get there.
You could still get there this year, couldn't you?
That much of a chance.
A lot of things have to happen, including a few
you've got to
miracles.
lose.
Yeah.
Sorry, and we've got to win. So yes.
Yeah, we'll see you next year anyway, Glenn.
Okay.
That'll be lovely. I was going to ask you, how come the Ivy all of a sudden became so prominent in your desires and your thoughts? What's your dream for the Ivy as a complex?
Well, I think Gaynor was supposed to handle this because a lot of the whole concept is hers, to be perfectly honest.
That's because you didn't have one.
That's right. I've got I have no taste at all. I mean, so
No, when he first brought the plans to me, I was going, yeah, that you can't have chandeliers and red leathered booths and things like that. So we just sort of kept it very simple in its design. It's all basically green in colour, which is how the Ivy sort of came about. Melbourne green and a lovely old building and sort of ivy creeping all over it, which is what I would have liked. But instead we called it the Ivy.
Gaynor, with a place like the Ivy, what do you refer to it as? I mean, it's more than just a nightclub or disco, isn't it?
It's not a disco, it is a nightclub. It's where people can come after they've been out for dinner at 11 o'clock and want to sit down, or, you know how I end up in restaurants until 1 o'clock in the morning because there's really nowhere else for me to go.
Couldn't you go home? Or?
I could, but I've paid the babysitter till 12:30,
Right.
so I mean, I really want to get my value.
Sure.
So I just want to go somewhere where it's comfortable, it's not full of 18-year-olds, not that I've got anything against 18-year-olds, I think they're absolutely wonderful, but there's so many of them and they've taken over our clubs that there was nowhere for me or my age group, just 29ish, to sort of go, and that's sort of how it sort of happened.
Well, people in my age group too, just hitting 42, 43.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it too. It'll be great. Good luck with it. I think it'll be sensational. Glenn, when you have a look at this early photograph of Glenn Wheatley from the Masters Apprentices,
you've rated my photo album.
Yes, Gaynor did that for us, and you have a look there.
Isn't he cute?
Yeah, he's lovely. Well, he was always the cutest, wasn't he?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what you said anyway. Were there dreams?
Actually, no, Hank, that's not true. She always used to like the singer.
Jim Keys.
I was always the bass player. She never noticed me.
Well, what happened to Jim?
I don't know.
He married someone
is it?
else.
Yes, he
but
married. He didn't get you.
So he was your first choice, was he, Jim? But, I mean, there is a God.
When
I
I
mean,
was 13.
yeah, but nothing against Jim, but I mean, there is a God. I mean, you've got Glenn down, all those millions and things. What? And Jim's driving a bus or something. No, he's doing beautiful things.
We had Jim around for dinner one night, and Gaynor just went to water. She couldn't. And I said,
Actually,
"What
for
is the
dinner, or
matter?"
was he serving? Now, tell the truth.
So the truth came out that actually it was the lead singer that she always used to like when she was 13 years old.
Actually, he was a great singer, wasn't he?
He's gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay, enough of
sorry.
Jim. Back to that era. What were your dreams then? Did you imagine that one day, I mean, I flippantly said before you own half Australia. You don't, but you're very fast getting there.
Well, in the very early days, all I wanted to do was be successful in music. Essentially, that's the base of all of my activities, whether it be radio or artist management or nightclubs. I think the only exception to that is my marriage in the Sydney Swans. It's not music-based, but everything else in my life is music-based, and that's where it all comes from.
You're quoted today in the Melbourne Herald as saying that you don't see anything you do as work. You see it as enjoyment.
Well, I am very lucky in that respect because I honestly love what I'm doing, and that's why it's not a chore, it's not a job. And
That's why he never comes home.
That's why you're always at restaurants until 1 o'clock in the morning, eh?
No, I mean I've got to learn to balance my home and my business because they're both enjoyable to me, and business certainly is something that I enjoy, and it's what keeps me going.
Yeah, but I mean, there's got to be more to it than that because the other guys who were with you in that era, I don't mean I'm not honing in on the group alone, but a lot of guys were into music then and would love to be doing things now that are music based, but they haven't been as successful as you. I mean, are you a hard man? Are you able to see the easy buck, the fast buck? What's the secret?
No, I think I'm a team man. I think I like to work with people that work as a team, and essentially that's why I keep using the Sydney Swans as an analogy as well, because it's teamwork, it's spirit, it's working with each other, it's complementing each other, it's working with everybody to lift the game. And if I have an ability, I think I have an ability to be able to inspire that with people around me. And I get them to enjoy the job as much as I do.
Until she had a baby not all that long ago, a friend of mine, Pamela Reid, was, I think, your personal assistant. I think that was the thing. And she used to tell me at parties and things that it wasn't a job, it was an experience. And it was, you came into that office and there was always something happening. And I guess that's the clue to being a good boss, eh?
Well, it's never dull, and I mean, I like to make sure that people have got something to be able to put their teeth into and have their own incentive. I honestly believe that the way that companies are going to be run into the 1990s is that they will become flatter organisations, meaning there'll be less hierarchy between management and the working staff. There'll be more incentive given to the workers because the day that they can come in and make their own decisions and enjoy the benefits of those decisions, we're going to get a lot more productivity.
Sure.
And I think that really does help. I mean, if people can come into the office and treat it like their home and enjoy it as much as they do their home, then you've really gone a long way to having a successful organisation.
Glenn, what would you do in a situation as boss if your assistant came to you and said that he had to leave an important meeting about half an hour into it because he needed to go to Adelaide to do a gig over there? Would you accept that as a legitimate excuse just to walk out, or what would you do? Or would you sack him on the spot, and as you sacked him, told him right across the face? What would you do?
In my defence, Mr. Newton, I am sharing my network responsibilities.
It's about time someone did. What would you do, Glenn?
Well, that's a management decision I'd have to think about. I mean, I might be doing the same thing because I might be leaving halfway through this as well, but nothing personal. But
Oh, yes, but you see, there's no reason to grovel to him. You can leave whenever you want to leave. That's okay. It's great to see you here.
Thank you, Bert.
Particularly, good luck with tonight because...
Well, it's going to be a big night. Tonight is just the Victorian Association for Deserted Children. All the money is going to raise tonight.
John's performing?
Well, John is the patron of this charity, and John is hosting tonight.
There will be a piano around and
a microphone.
just in case
We
he gets
don't
the
know.
urge to sing.
But we are raising a lot of money for this charity. It's a charity that John Farnham has supported now for 18 years.
Yes, he has indeed. Yeah.
A lot of people are not that aware, but he has been a great supporter, and he's put a lot of his time over the years into this and looking after these deserted kids, the product of broken homes, and we're going a long way to really setting up a hostel, and the money raised tonight is going towards that. So we're very, very proud of that.
Terrific. All kidding aside, what time do you have to leave? Because there's a question I'd like to ask you about, John.
Oh, okay. No, I'll hang around. I'll wait for the question.
Fine. Well, it's quite a simple question. I mean, you can answer it now if you will. It's just that when that turnaround occurred for John with Whispering Jack, before that, I mean, everyone in the industry always said that he was the best singer in Australia.
Yep.
Everyone loves him as a guy. I haven't heard one word against John Farnham. but everyone worried that he was going to, would he get back to where he was? Well, indeed, he's gone further than that. Was that beyond your plans, or was that exactly what you had in mind?
No, I, like you, Bert, and a lot of other people out there believed he was the best singer in this country. And I've been a friend of John's now for 20 years. And when I came back from America and was involved with Little River Band at the time, I got talking to John about his career and where it should be going and what he'd like to do. The real turnaround for John, pardon me, came about when he himself rolled his sleeves up and said, I want to go and do this again. He had to get that desire there, but he just needed the direction. It was a little bit of bad advice, perhaps. He was going in the wrong way. And I think that what he's got now is untold support from this country. I think there's not a person in this country that doesn't put their hand up and say, well, good on you, Johnny, for hanging in there. You've been there, you had a little bit of a slump, and you've come back. And I think that he's got such enormous support that you can
Everyone
feel
loves
it.
it.
I mean, we've created
Great.
history.
I think also, too, I mean, it's just simply great when you get the album, when that album hits. I mean, you can't go wrong if you've got a successful one, can you?
He did it. I mean, he rolled up his sleeves. I mean, Gaynor and I were in that... Gaynor and I... Can I just have a look at this masterpiece? I promise I won't drop it.
Okay, well, just, are your hands clean?
Yeah, no. It's a treasure, isn't it?
Listen, laugh. Don't
treasure.
take the $5.99 seriously. It's actually $2.35.
I mean, we've got it. Yes, look at this.
This is Glenn Wheatley actually has my album out. Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Lovely.
Great.
Oh, an
For those
American
of you watching the
tourist. Who was
program,
that
if you've
fellow?
got the sound down,
on.
actually Glenn is thinking of re-releasing it.
You must be standing on a box there.
No, that's me with my father.
No, you must be standing on a box.
Yeah. What about Patty's hair there? Could you believe? Anyway,
Fabulous.
Fabulous. Little
reminisce.
Patty, yes. Right.
Would you like it?
There's no album in here.
Okay,
But
fair
I'm
enough.
just really
Okay,
sorry.
okay. Someone's knocked the album off.
Here you go, Sam.
I tell you what, if they're serving with that again in the canteen, I'll really be furious. Glenn and Gaynor, thanks so much indeed for joining us today. And stay, please. Thank you.